Hey there, welcome back to our video blog, Project I Want to Live. I'm Vanna.
And I'm Melissa, and it's been a long 2 months. As you know, I went off to go get my wings and become a flight attendant, and luckily for me, after all the challenge and stress and a few crying nights, I have been successful and I graduated, and I'm officially a flight attendant now. And now on to, I guess, the next step of our journey is getting refocused, recommitted to this goal of ours to hit the 100 pounds. And it's funny because this was very exciting to become a flight attendant because if you followed our journey, like I was rejected multiple times and we didn't give up and we went for it. And now I'm on this new challenge because I've been hearing all these people telling me, oh, your story is so exciting, it's so inspiring. But you know what? As a flight attendant, it's really hard to be healthy. Oh, I know all these flight attendants, they gain 20, 30 pounds their first year. And I'm like, okay, first of all,
Do you know who you're talking to?
do you know who you're talking to? And I get it and I appreciate it, but like, let me remind myself, and we have to go back. I'm like, when I first started this journey, I was working at a Cuban restaurant. And I was told back then, oh, you can't lose weight when you work in a restaurant or in the restaurant industry. It's so hard. You long hours, you're surrounded by food. And I'm like, look, if you really put your mind to something, you can do that. And it's been proven over and over again. That's our common denominator. You're faced with challenges, you're faced with obstacles, you're faced with things that you don't know if you can do. But if you put all that aside and you make a decision and a commitment, you can always follow through and make things happen. And I was thinking of that on my flight yesterday, and I'm just like, I'm really here. I'm flying now. Just a few years ago, I was crying because I was rejected because I was too heavy. And I just thought about me going forward now. And I know it's going to be challenging. This is a big transition for me right now, adjusting to the new schedule, the new hours. But I'm like, if I can come this far with a plan and commitment and support, there's no way I can't eventually finally hit the 100 pounds. So, what do you think about that?
Well, I totally agree. Her and I have been talking just constantly. And, this training that she had gone through is another, like she said, proven time and time again. When you are first, number one, once you've decided that you're going to do something, and then you put all of your effort and your focus and your commitment and your heart into that, and more importantly, once you trust yourself that you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was one of the biggest things that, we kept speaking about. Like, just trust yourself. Just trust yourself. You can do this. If you have lost 80 pounds so far, you can get through these challenging moments in your training.
It was hard, guys.
And yes, and not to underestimate that training at all because it was very challenging in many ways. So number one, congratulations for that.
Yay.
I'm proud of you once again for
Got
doing
my
so.
wings.
But she's right. It's about, who cares what people say about what you're doing or how challenging it might be. Guess what? When you want to do something that you've never done before or you want to accomplish something, it's going to be challenging. Let's just put it out there. We're talking about now. All right, we're back. We had this 2-month thing. Now we got to get back on track. Let's get focused. What are we going to do? What is the plan? Blah, blah, blah. And we had to speak about this multiple times. And we're like, all right, so are we going to do this? Are we going to do that? And then things just kind of didn't really come into place until now, today.
Yeah.
And that's just how we roll.
We get it together.
And we really just had to keep it simple and go back to the basics. What was it that worked for us in the beginning? We have a support system between each other. We believe that we can do this. Let's just take 3 things. 3 things that you're going to focus on this week, which are
working out minimum of 3 days a week, limiting my caffeine because I have really increased the amount of caffeine I have been drinking and it's not good for my body. And my third thing is to eliminate all the extra carbohydrates that I have been snacking on or picking on that is not included in a healthy eating lifestyle.
And that was big for us to really come to a conclusion about. Because maybe certain things that we're focusing on now were not as big as a focus before. But now what it's really about is just understanding where we're at, what we need to do, and, to really set up that level of accountability between each other.
And sometimes it's very overwhelming, especially for me. Like, I have been on this mind trip for the last year because you have gone so far, and I know it's great that I've lost 80 pounds. But this part has been the most challenging because you get so close, but the end has been the hardest part. To question yourself and psychologically reanalyze and analyze again and try this plan, that plan, and understand why you can't go forward. I realize I'm like, I gotta just let it go.
All in all, in conclusion, really what our message is, maybe we have done video upon video. We're going to hit it by this time. We're going to hit the goal by this time and whatever. And, it really sounds really nice to have hit 100 pounds in a year. Well, I'm sorry, it didn't happen that way. And it didn't happen the second time we said we were going to hit the 100 pounds by a certain time or all the other times after that. But the most important thing is that, we're not these like super crazy human beings that can just be so disciplined and so focused for this one amount of time and get to our goal. If anything, maybe it's a little bit more inspiring for other viewers that can say, oh, me too. Like, I tried and it didn't work and I have to keep going and I have to keep going again and again and again, because you're not a failure unless you've stopped, unless you stop trying and you quit. And, that's a lot of times we think about like, oh, like, do people judge us because we haven't done it yet? Like, is this boring? Is this like redundant? Is it like, oh my God, you're really never going to do it? You girls should stop recording videos. Like, I don't know. Maybe if you do feel that way, you do. And yet, you're entitled to your own opinion.
Sure.
But what I know is that there's so many other human people like us that have this constant journey of, you know what, I haven't gotten to my goal yet, and I'm gonna do it. And if anything, I admire people that can pick things up after they've fallen multiple times, because it takes a lot more courage and it takes a lot more mental, emotional, and physical strength to really do it again after those times.
She's making me cry over here. I'm like, that's me, guys. That's me.
So I had to express that.
Thank you.
And
I love
you. And I really feel that way. And I'm very confident that we're going to do it. And, anyone that needs support in an area in your life where you feel like, oh, I haven't gotten there yet. Don't worry. You just have to keep going. Follow along with our journey because we're going through it all too. And if anything, this is the journey to more success.
Yes, I like that.
But that's all we have for you guys today, and we will continue to update you.
Bye.
Bye.